You got to do some conscious searching more than anything else. You can look in your genealogy. You can see if there were big events that did this. The book that you mentioned shows you very clearly how to look at it and then move. But it's really about becoming involved in your own money adventure. And it is an adventure.
You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
And welcome. You are listening to watching the Financial Survival Network. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz. Well, Judy Wilkins-Smith is on with us again, and we're talking about money DNA, emotional DNA, and her book is Decoding Your Emotional Blueprint, a powerful guide to transformation through disentangling multi-generational patterns. That sounds pretty daunting there, Judy, but just briefly tell us what it's about and how do we do it?
It's a big mouthful and it's really simple. So what it is you don't just inherit your physical DNA, you also inherit your emotional DNA. And along with that, as a subset, you inherit your financial or money DNA. So your patterns of thoughts, feelings, actions in and around money, or for that matter, anything in your life, but for today it's money. You inherit a whole bunch of that. And the trick is it'll often limit you. So you've got to be able to identify it and then decide what it is that you want to do. So you're pretty unconsciously entangled with the patterns. We just show you how to get out of those.
All right. So how do you get out of it? And how bad are these patterns really?
Well, they pretty much run the way that you act. So again, because we're talking about money, they pretty much run the way that you will think, feel, and act around money. So if you heard your mother and father screaming about money because there was never enough, that becomes your there's never enough, there's never enough, there's never enough. But where did it come from? Was it on mom's side or dad's side? Did mom have some but dad's side didn't? And he heard it was never enough, it's never enough, and it goes all the way back. So now it comes through to you, and for you it's like there's never enough, there's never enough. You don't know when you'll get to enough because you've just got that one pattern cycling through. In fact, I have a billionaire person, a billionaire client, and I said to him, so what are you going to do with all of this wealth that you have? And he says, huh? I said, and what are you going to spend it on? He said, no, that's not the point. So I said to him, well, what was the point? We had to be safe and secure. So I said, are you safe and secure? Well, I don't know. I said to him, can you spend this all in your lifetime? He said, well, if you're not careful. I said, okay, are you careful? Yes. Well, then can we look at that? Because safe and secure has been met. And he said, well, what do I do now? I said to him, how about you add the next chapter? And he went, oh, I didn't think of that. So it's about you identifying, disentangling, and then going, so what can I do with this?
Mm-hmm. All right. So how do you get rid of these lingering things that are multi-generational that you don't even know you have?
So first of all, of course, you've got to identify them. Secondly, you don't want to get rid of them because they become a source of wisdom. That becomes the door you don't want to go back through. So you actually need it there just to remind you, not here, but there. So one of the things I tell people to do is sit down and write down all your thoughts about money. Don't censor them because your language in and of itself is unique to you and your family system. You may say very odd-sounding things about money. It's telling you something. So write down your thoughts, write down your feelings, write down your actions. And then have a look at it and go, oh, these don't feel good, that feels good. What do I really want to do or have or be in terms of finances? And then you write down those thoughts, feelings, actions, reactions. Now you're sitting with two sets, the one that wants to stop and the one that wants to start. And those two are always right next to each other. So once you identify them in things like, I'm so annoyed when I've only got X amount in my bank account, or those rich people just annoy me, you begin to see exactly what your financial or money DNA is. Then you can decide what you want to become. And here's the thing. In systems, we know that what you really deeply want and desire is the system's way of pushing you forward. And when I say system, that's your family system. So it's busy pushing you forward.
Mm-hmm.
It's also saying to stop the old pattern. It doesn't work anymore. It's over. So what was once a solution in one generation, it's no longer a solution very often in the next generation. Your grandfather may have said, you know what, everything's collapsing. Take your money out the bank, hide it under the mattress. Well, these days, with decent earnings on your savings, that doesn't really work anymore. So you've got to be able to switch. Yeah.
Okay. So you diagnose the situation, and then you come to terms with it. You list it. How does it work? How do you actually get over it?
Well, what you do then is you look at what it is you do want, and you've then got to create a bigger want than the place that you're at the moment. Mm-hmm. So let's say I'm always living paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. I actually want financial freedom. I want to build a nest egg so if something happens, I'm not panicked. Okay, that nest egg sounds really, really exciting. It sounds far more exciting than this living from paycheck to paycheck. How do I make it happen? I'm going to take just a little bit each month and I'm going to start building that. Well, then it becomes more and more intriguing because now this has got a stronger pull than the old pull of it comes, it goes, or I've always only got enough from month to month. So you're building out a healthy pattern, and that migrates you past your limitations and into where you want to be, into a healthy money DNA.
All right. And then is it just solved at that point, or do you have to keep doing the work?
That's a great question. If you've solved it, and I'll tell you why, because I had somebody who said to me, I want to do X. And I said to her, okay, good goal. So she gets to X, she achieves it, and she says, well, now I'm in a funk. So I said to her, well, why? She said, because now what? I said to her, no, it doesn't stop. You keep building, and you keep building, and you keep expanding. The minute you stop, you're going to start reverting. And then she said to me, well, that's hard work. And I said to her, hold on.
No one said it was going to be easy.
But it's not just that. Is it really hard work? Or is it going to be harder work when you're living from paycheck to paycheck? Because you can do either. Mm-hmm. And you would, oh, no, I don't want to do that anymore. So we're doing the work all the time, but we're either going backwards or forwards. It's just a matter of what you pick.
Mm-hmm. So the choice is really up to you then, isn't it?
It's very much about choice, and it's about making your choice strong enough to make you so excited that there's no way you're going to go back to that one, because that just isn't cool anymore.
Okay. So these beliefs, basically you're dealing with false beliefs. Do I have that correct?
You're dealing either with false beliefs or outdated beliefs. Often it's outdated beliefs. An event happened, an ancestor made a choice and said, this is the way we handle money. And it was good for then, but it's not good for now. Mm-hmm. And so what you've got to do is go, okay, that was then, this is now.
Okay. So you really got to do some soul searching to get to the bottom of this then, don't you?
Absolutely. You got to do some conscious searching more than anything else. You know, you can look in your genealogy. You can see if there were big events that did this. The book that you mentioned shows you very clearly how to look at it and then move. But it's really about becoming involved in your own money adventure. And it is an adventure.
Oh, yes, it's an adventure. I can speak from personal experience there, Judy. So, hey, how do you get the book? How do we connect with you? Do you provide any support in this arena?
I do, actually, quite a lot. So you can get the book all over the place. Amazon, Kindle, Audible, all of the big ones, Barnes & Noble, any of those. Meditations are also there if people are looking for those to help them. And then in November, I'm teaching Money DNA down at Disney World. And that is for people to come in and we actually go through. What is your money DNA? Where did it come from? How is it affecting you? What do we need to do so that you could switch it up and then you start walking towards your new money adventure? So it's 4 days of really becoming immersed in who am I financially and who do I want to be financially and how do we migrate from the one to the other?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's a website. How do we connect with you?
Judy Wilkins-Smith.com. And you'll also see that my that live event in November is listed there, and it's filling. So people who want to come and play, well, it's working hard during the day, playing hard during the night because we're on site at Disney, but they're more than welcome. This is open to the public.
Oh, excellent. Well, I love what you're doing. It sounds like a real adventure. I think for many of you out there, past is indeed prologue, but it's up to you to make the decision whether that continues to rule your life or whether you actually do something about it. Hey, if you got a question for Judy, myself, shoot us an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. We'll get you an answer quickly. Hey, you'll find a link to Judy's site in the show notes to this interview on financialsurvivalnetwork.com. And while you're there, please sign up for a free newsletter. Judy, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Kerry, it is always a pleasure to be with you. Let people go and grow their lives remarkably because your money DNA will do it.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.